Hey, welcome back. It is, as always, good to see you today. And we have, well, I'm recording this for the second time. I recorded this at 6 o'clock this morning when I got home from the gym. And I went to edit my video during lunch, from my lunch break from work, and it didn't record my audio from my microphone. So I did a test just before now with a little clip, and it recorded. So we're going to hope that that continues, because my video was 40 minutes long, and we're going to hope I can remember everything that I wanted to say, or that I said in the previous one, and have the same thoughts and reactions in this video. If I don't, maybe while I'm doing the editing, I will think of something I forgot. So I'm a little irritated because that was 40 minutes of my life I am not going to get back. But all that being said, we are in a child's playroom because Amberlynn is going to try to convince us that she is not a spoiled brat. So I thought a child's playroom would be the fitting place for that. And this video from Amberlynn that she uploaded yesterday is titled Lab Results, Weight Loss Surgery Update, and Am I a Spoiled Brat? Vlog. Well, I'm sure most people could go ahead and answer that question for you, Amberlynn, and it would be yes, sometimes you do act like a spoiled brat. Whenever things don't go your way, you throw your hands up in the air or throw a tantrum and take your ball and go home. So, sometimes you act like one. But let's, I don't want to spend another 40 minutes on this video. Hopefully I can do it a little bit quicker maybe. But let's go ahead and
dive on in!
Hey guys, welcome to a new video.
Hey,
so
Amberlynn.
I finished the Stillwater Girl.
Nope. Not gonna do it. Gonna skip it.
I've been doing just like nothing but reading today. But I did get a phone call from the weight loss clinic.
Oh. We are back. Phone call from the weight loss clinic. Alright.
So I have a little update on that. They got my lab results finally, and they tested like a bunch of different things, and everything came back fine besides...
I mean, were they testing like your blood glucose, testing, sure, your blood work is okay. You're good to go. Are they gonna have to recheck it though before the surgery?
Vitamin D is very low. So they're prescribing me like a very high...
Vitamin D is a vitamin you get from the sun, right? I mean, look how pale and pasty she is. Look at how pale and pasty I am. I'm sure I have a vitamin D deficiency also. Go out in the sun. I should take my own advice.
Dosage of vitamin D for me to take once a week, prescribed. So I'm actually going to go get that from the pharmacy. So I'm just very...
Do you? Oh, goodness. Do you need to get a prescription for vitamin D? I mean, can't you just get that over the counter? It'd probably be cheaper.
Relieved to hear that, like, your girl, the results came back pretty well, because I knew that my vitamin D was low. Like, it's been low. It's been very low for years now. So yeah, I just know I'm going to feel a lot better taking this really high dosage vitamin D, because I've taken one in the past and it helps a lot. So another update I have.
This from the girl that took a multivitamin for 3 days and said, I can feel it working. I've been taking my Care of vitamins for a month. I mean, I don't know if I really noticed a difference in anything. I don't know.
Is, you guys know how, like I said, that I found out that I have to go a whole year without binging, and like, yes. I kind of had like a little breakdown moment. Like, I cried in front of my dietitian. It was embarrassing, but you know,
I mean, I'm sure it was emotional. You've been looking forward to this. You've been planning for it. To find out you're delayed, it's understandable to be a little upset about it. But to go on what she was saying in her last video about, none of what I've done is worth it, basically. All this work I've put in, not worth it, since I can't have the surgery right now. It's kind of given temper tantrum vibes, and if I can't have it, well then, I don't want it. Ever. It's kind of given, childish temper tantrum.
I just felt very overwhelmed. I didn't like take advantage at the time and like ask more questions about why this is or just like understand the situation a little bit
Well, she told you. You have to go without binging for a year.
more. So I have an option of emailing her. So I took advantage of that option and I kindly just wanted to like understand things a little bit more. So we've actually been emailing back and forth for a couple of days and she has explained things a little bit better for me, that like there is someone like above her, a psychologist above her, who actually
Okay.
reads like all her notes on her patients and they help decide like the further plan for her patients. And the psychologist thinks that this is what's best for me, and so does the dietitian. But she
Yeah.
also wants the surgeon's opinion because everyone is different, every story is different, everyone it's a different plan. It's not one size fits all at all. So she's
Right. And for you, given your binge eating disorder diagnosis of a year ago, and with what you've said about how you feel when you're binging recently, as in December, I can understand them wanting to give it a longer time period because even last year, you were able to go 4, 5, 6 weeks without having a binge. So wanting you to go a year is absolutely reasonable because you could do some serious damage. Now, while I'm thinking of it, and before she continues on here about the surgeon, this psychologist that she talked to that's part of this program here had told her, according to her, that binging is eating, 2, 3, 4 times what you would normally eat. And looking up symptoms of binge eating disorder on several websites, none of them that I read said anything about it being a certain, oh, it has to be like twice as much or 3 times as much. It just says you eat more than you normally would, and it has more to do with how you're feeling while you are eating, as in feeling like you have no control over yourself while you're eating, that you're not even hungry, but you're just eating the food, and that you possibly hide it, feel guilty about it, or just, you know, have a sense of regret about it, and you can't stop yourself. And Amberlynn has said before that whenever she's doing this, she just feels like it's robotic and she's just eating the food to be eating it, that she doesn't even want it, but she can't stop herself. So when she was pushing the narrative over a year ago of I can't lose weight because I have binge eating disorder. That's why I can't lose weight. It's all because of this binge eating disorder, when it fit her narrative of not being able to lose weight. She had binge eating disorder. But now that binge eating disorder is a possible detriment to her, oh, I don't have binge eating disorder because I don't eat 3 times the amount of food, forgetting all of the other symptoms that go along with binge eating disorder, which everything that I've read says nothing about it having to be a certain, oh, 3 times your food. Because even with her binge back in December with her Rowley's meal, I said I didn't consider that a binge, but she also didn't tell us how she was feeling in her mind, how she was feeling about eating it. Because the amount of food really wasn't that bad, to be honest. But it could have been that she was feeling a certain way while she was eating it, but she was able to somehow limit the food intake to a smaller amount, which is a good mitigation technique from things that I've read. Whenever you're feeling like having a binge, even if you still, quote, have that binging, limiting what you're eating will help in the long run and help you be able to circumvent it in the future. So, because the binge eating disorder doesn't suit her now, she thinks she doesn't really have it because now it's she wants to be able to have the surgery and it doesn't fit the narrative of her life as when it did in the past because she doesn't take accountability. She has to have something preventing her, something external to her. It's never her own fault. Okay. enough of my rambling. We'll get back to Amberlynn.
Actually talking to the surgeon tomorrow about my story and my situation in particular, and she said she's going to get back to me. I wish I could talk to the surgeon, of course.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, of course, sure, talking to the surgeon, that's fine. But the surgeon is relying on these other professionals that have the psychological background, the dietary backgrounds to help make this decision.
One, because it is a lot of like telephone and like through the grapevine type thing, and I would love to talk to the surgeon one-on-one. I
just send them your YouTube channel.
Understand I can't right now. The surgeon is very popular. There's just a way that they do things, and I understand that. So I think after, you know, she talks to the surgeon and communicates to me what the surgeon thinks should happen, I think I'll have a clearer answer. And I think what would be really helpful to me, and I don't know if this is like because I have that obsessive side of me. Like I was diagnosed with OCPD, which is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. I was diagnosed with that like 5 years ago. And it was just like a couple years ago, I was diagnosed with actual OCD. You can have both. So I don't know if it's one of these, but it's like, I feel like I need to have my surgery date scheduled, even if it is a year from.
Yeah. So what I've read, the little bit that I've read about OCPD, having an obsession with like the calendar, scheduling, dates, planning is kind of an OCPD type thing.
Now, or 10 months from now, I want to know the date, because for some reason it's like, I know I'm working towards something big and something amazing and something life-changing, but I feel like if I have that exact date, then it's like I could touch it. I could.
So yeah, it's more tangible, but that brings up a thought in my mind here. Amberlynn needs to have something shiny in the future to work towards. If she doesn't have something specific to work towards, she's not going to do it. Whereas just simply having it be, you need to lose weight to be healthier and to live a longer life, apparently isn't a good enough goal. So maybe if she were to set short-term goals for herself outside of surgery date, if she were to say by May 30th or May 15th or whatever, something, I need to have lost X amount of weight because of this. This is a set target date for whatever reason.
Feel it. I know it's there. I don't know if that's like part of my OCPD, but I just feel like I need it scheduled. And it's like, obviously, if I don't meet requirements and I don't do what they tell me to do, etc., then the surgery is going to be canceled. But
well, people are busy, Amberlynn. If they try to schedule your surgery for a year out and 2 weeks before you have to cancel it, I mean, I'm sure they could refill that position, that, you know, slot, but what if somebody wanted to take vacation that week and they can't because you wanted to have your surgery that day but then couldn't? It's, you know, people have to be scheduled, planned for. Their time is expensive and important. You know, the anesthesiologist, the nurses, the surgeon themselves. They can't rearrange their lives and schedules just because you have a whim of wanting to have surgery on a date because it helps you feel better about it.
Like if I do everything they tell me I'm going to do and what I'm supposed to do, and it's like if I have a date for when my life is absolutely going to change, I can see myself being more successful. It doesn't make sense to you guys, no. I'm sure it's not going to make any sense, which is fine, but just don't come for me. Don't judge me. It seems,
well,
like more obtainable. It's like I could touch it. I could feel it. I could taste it. If
you licking your calendar,
like there's an actual date. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, okay? It's just because I hate the unknown. I hate the unknown. It's like the worst. So
no, I don't like the unknown either, but your goal is a year from now. I mean, just plan for March 2024. You're going to have surgery and work towards it and have that goal of not binging in that time frame.
It's something that is possible because I know there are people, because there's people who have reached out to me who have gotten weight loss surgery. So many of you. So thank you for reaching out to me on my Instagram and sharing your stories. I love reading them and corresponding with you guys. A lot of you actually had your surgery like scheduled for 3 months out. And I was like, okay, so if people can do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about what they have to do before surgery, but don't they have to adhere to a certain diet, a certain time frame before the surgery? They have to adhere to a very strict diet for whatever reason and get their body prepped for surgery. That's probably why it's scheduled 3 months out. They're like, "Okay, starting on this date, you need to start eating this way, and then this date, do this, and then on this day, we're gonna have your surgery."
That I'm pretty sure like 10 to 12 months out is possible as well.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And didn't you just say a few minutes ago that everybody has their own journey and everybody's journey is different and everybody's plan is different, every program is different? But yet here you are being like, "Well, if they can do it, why can't I?" What? Hmm.
It's just, it gives me a goal. It's like a physical goal, and there's no unknown. There's no like, oh my God, when is this going to happen? So that is something that I want to talk about.
Your goal is to just do the best you can, lose weight, stay the course, and be ready for surgery a year from now, or be ready to be approved a year from now.
With my dietitian and then like the surgeon, because eventually I will be seeing the surgeon, and I'm excited for that appointment because it's like the surgeon is like the end all be all type thing. And, you know, for a minute there, I thought it was the psychologist was the end all be all, but it's not. There's so many little tiny things when you get weight loss surgery.
So she's going to try to convince the surgeon that she doesn't really have binge eating disorder. Is that what she's going to try to do?
Side of like the bigger picture and the bigger things that you have to change. It's
Picture.
a lot. And someone like me, OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, where I feel like I have to be in control and I have to have it the right way, and like the appointments have to be the right way in the right order, and it's just like I don't have this control, and I feel like I would have a sense of control if I just like had an exact date and I could work towards that goal. I'm totally rambling right now.
Yes, but it's because you want it your way and you want it now. And if you can't have it your way right now, then you're going to just quit. Like with all the diets, you know, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers. If it didn't work within, 3 days, or if you didn't see the scale move 10 pounds in that first week, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. She gets upset and says it's not working and quits instead of just trusting whatever process she's doing and letting it work.
But I don't know. I'm just feeling more hopeful. I know in that video where I told you guys like this, this whole year just gives me room to fail, blah, blah, blah. Like I've obviously had some time to like think on it and absorb the information given to me. And I've had some people tell me that I was a spoiled brat because I was upset. That to me was like, ma'am, spoiled brat who? No, yeah. I'm ready to actively change my life. And
yeah, because you were acting like one. Like I was saying, if I can't have it now, then I'm just not gonna do it. That's how you came across in that video. Nothing that I've done matters. Pfft. If I can't have it now, if I can't have it my way, that's how you came across.
I know that with weight loss surgery, it's gonna make it happen quicker and faster. It's gonna save my life. Hold on, someone's calling me. Anyways, let me answer this and I will talk to you guys later. But I'm not a spoiled brat. I'm just ready to change my life. Okay, I just got off the phone. I just felt like I needed to finish my thought process. Yeah, I've had time to like think and like
what's this angle?
Absorb and process, and obviously it was disheartening because like in my heart I was like, yeah, I got this. I'm totally gonna get surgery by summer. And it's like the fact that I was told,
yeah, you shouldn't have done that, because you should have just, not said, I'm going to have it done by summer, because then if you weren't able to do it, it would just be disappointment.
That's probably not.
Especially when it's something that's completely outside of your control.
Gonna happen. Like, of course that was a little.
Not completely, but you know what I mean. It's not her decision.
sad. And it's like, if I wouldn't have felt that way, if I would have just been like, oh, okay, that's totally fine, then I know I'm not wanting this at all. Because I'm very much like,
No, I don't think so. I mean, you could have been disappointed and upset, but not just been like, okay, whatever. You could have been like, oh, all right, well, that sucks, and had your disappointment, been disappointed for a few minutes, and then just been, all right, I'm gonna, just focus and stay on track and be able to do this a year from now.
gratification.
Instant gratification. How many times have I said in videos that Amber wants instant gratification? And the food gives her the instant gratification, as we see with her
I'll have what she's having.
her little food gasms each time she eats something wonderful. And I'm sorry, I'm pausing so much. This is going to be a long video again. But yeah, she wants the instant gratification. She wants the instant quick fix. Even though she knows she has to put in the work, even with the Ozempic. The Ozempic wasn't going to do it for her. She still had to eat in a calorie deficit. With the weight loss surgery, it's not going to do the work for her. It will limit how much she can eat, but she can blow right past that. She still has to be accountable, and she has to put in the work herself. And it's not going to be a quick fix. She's not going to drop 100 pounds in the first 3 months, probably. She may, but I doubt it.
I want, that instant. And it's like, I only want that when I really want something. So if I wouldn't have felt the way that I did when I was first told that information, then it's like, that's an indicator that, Amberlynn, you don't want this as bad as you thought you did, So it's like the fact that I did react that way is a total Amberlynn. Like, of course, I'm going to feel disheartened. And I'm going to, I've spent my whole life, like my first diet when I was 11 years old, I've spent my whole life yo-yo dieting. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if I was able to do it by myself, someone just walked past the window.
Hey,
if I was able to do it by myself and be successful by myself, then I would have already done it.
But you were successful by yourself for a while. You've lost 100 pounds. If you could have just maintained that, even if you'd gained back 5 or 10 pounds and then got back on track and continued losing, you could have done it. But what you did is you lost 100 pounds and then gained back 80 of it in like 6 weeks, 5 weeks. And I think that behavior is what is throwing up red flags to the dietitian and her superior psychologist that's above her. Is that, yeah, you lost 100 pounds, but then you gained back 80 of it in a very short time period. You don't gain 80 pounds in, 5 or 6 weeks by eating 1,500, 1,600 calories a day. It just doesn't happen. So, I think your past behavior is also giving them pause if you were honest with them and told them these things. Like, oh yeah, I've lost 100 pounds before. Oh, but then I gained it back. It doesn't bode well for your body after surgery.
And I know that with this extra tool of weight loss surgery, it's going to change my life and it's going to help me. This might be the tool that might actually save my life.
Saying might does give pause.
If you're trying to hang up this picture and it's like you try to hang it up for 10 years and it's not hanging. You're like, what is happening? You realize, oh, okay, this picture is pretty heavy. Maybe I need a nail. Get that nail. The nail is right there. It's in arm's reach. But they say, you know what? Let's wait a year. You're like, damn. I just need that one last little tool so I can hang the picture on my wall. That might be a bad metaphor, but that's just the best.
It's an analogy. And yeah, it's pretty bad. It's just bad. I'm not going to spend much time on that. It's not a good analogy.
Way to explain it.
Writer Lynn.
That like my picture can't be hung without the nail, and that's my metaphor for weight loss surgery. Sure, I can lose some weight on my own, but I can't get to a healthy weight without the help of surgery. And you guys have seen that.
You probably could, but something triggers you and makes you go back on all that progress, which is why you need to work with a psychologist or a therapist to fix what's going on up here and what's triggering you to make you gain the weight back whenever you lose, the 89 lbs. Something is triggering this. Something is triggering the behavior that you have done so well on to change back and to revert. And that's what needs to be figured out.
I've lost 89 pounds multiple times in my life. The most I've ever lost is 116. I can't go any further than that. Like,
you can't.
I need help. And that is why weight loss surgery is there. And, I'm very saddened that people took it that way, that I seemed like a spoiled brat or like I was throwing a tantrum. God, no. God, no.
Because that's how it came across.
It was just I've been so stressed with all.
I think my stomach just growled. I'm sorry if you heard that. It's almost time for me to have dinner.
Of the tests and not being able to turn to food for like emotional reasons. And, you have to realize that for years at a time, for months at a time, whatever it may be, whatever era I was in my life, I would turn to food all the time.
Have you finished unpacking that with a therapist?
And already that being taken from me because I'm so serious about weight loss surgery, like already that being taken.
Talking about having the food and the emotional eating being taken away from her does not bode well for success. Because when Amberlynn feels like she's being restricted or something has been removed or taken away from her, it makes her want it more. So she needs to work with her therapist to figure out what's causing this and what she can do instead. Because the language of it's being taken away from me also implies that she doesn't really want to stop doing it. She could have used different verbiage and been like, since I'm not emotionally eating anymore because it's not good for me or I shouldn't do it, and I'm finding other ways to cope, it's taken away from me.
It just adds a whole other stress on top of like all the appointments and just everything. It's just been really stressful. And I don't need people to understand that, but I guess it's just like to be called a spoiled brat when it's like, that's not me. That's not me. That is not who I am as a person at all. And to be told like you're throwing a tantrum. What? Yeah, I'm sad that like saving my life has been prolonged. And I know a lot of people are like, do it yourself then in this year.
She's trying to appeal to emotion here with people being like, it's because I'm trying to save my life. You should feel bad for saying that I was throwing a tantrum, when that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what they tell me, but I'm not gonna be able to actively save my life in this year until I get weight loss surgery. Just like
you can start losing the weight. You could be down 100 pounds by time the weight loss surgery comes. Last time you weighed in, you were like 502 or something, or 500. You could be down to 400 pounds by time the surgery time comes. And that would be much better for you when it comes to the surgery itself. You'll be healthier. It'll be easier on your body. Recovery will be easier. So look at it that way. Look at it as you're preparing yourself to have an easier time with the surgery.
Not hang this picture successfully until I have the nail that I need. And
the fact that she's hinging everything on this weight loss surgery, I can't do anything until I have the weight loss surgery. That's not a good mindset.
How else to explain that. And I'm just very grateful that like my dietitian completely understands where I'm coming from, because sometimes the risk of getting weight loss surgery is less than the risk of not getting it. And that is a very like hot topic of like,
wasn't that said in like a 1,000-Pound Sister episode? Is that where I've heard that before? Something similar to that?
Which is more risky for me currently. And in my heart and in my soul, I feel like it's more risky for me not to get the surgery because we all know Amberlynn, and I don't hold on to success for months at a time. I don't. Like, I'll do amazing for a couple weeks and then I just fall flat and I end.
Right, because something triggers you, and that's what you need to work with a therapist on. What is making you self-sabotage? What is making you not complete your goals to lose weight?
Failing because I feel like I have nothing to work towards. And now I do.
But your goal to work towards was to lose weight just to be healthier and save your life. You could do it yourself. You shouldn't have to rely on having a goal, this goal of surgery specifically to do that. Your goal could have been, wifey wants to go hiking with me, or we want to take a trip to this location and I need to be able to fly more comfortably. Why couldn't those be tangible goals?
No, I have weight loss surgery to work towards. Bottom line, and long story short, it's just this program worries about people with BED or possible
Yes.
BED because you don't want your stomach to rupture after surgery or anything like that. Whether I was misdiagnosed in the past or not, the fact is I was diagnosed and I was seeing a psychologist for a year. I literally had someone message me and they're like, my first appointment with the weight loss surgery place is coming up. And should I lie to them about having binge eating disorder? And I responded to them and I said, no, you need to be honest. Because yes, for some programs like mine, it's a big setback. I know there's a lot of programs out there where it's not like this. And unfortunately, I'm not lucky enough to have found that program. But it's like, there's a big bittersweet because the surgeon I'm seeing.
I think making her wait because of binge eating disorder is the right path for her, in my opinion.
Phenomenal. The team, phenomenal. Like, I love the dietitian. I love everyone that I've spoken to at this weight loss clinic. Everyone I've seen, phenomenal. Like, this, everything that I feel has nothing to do with them. It has been just an amazing experience besides the setback, but it has nothing to do with them. So everything that I'm saying is just because, like, I'm an impatient little gal and I'm ready to save my life. I'm fucking ready. A year does seem.
How many times has she said this, though? I'm ready to save my life and do it and lose the weight. How many times has she said this in the past several years?
Super far. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay. It's okay. Time goes by regardless. And in a year from now, I could be in a way better spot, you know? So I have to really look at like the positives of the situation as well. Like, they're looking out for me and I love that. So what I was saying was, like, yeah, someone messaged me and said, should I tell them should I lie about that? And I was like, what? No. I hope that that is not what I am portraying as a person, that you should lie, because that is, no, you need to be 100% honest. I never even for like 3 seconds thought, maybe I should lie. No.
Well, I'm glad she's honest with her healthcare professionals, at least, because she has lied to her audience in the past. Oh, that's a face for me to maybe get a screenshot of.
Do not do that. And I hope that my story is not making other people want to lie their way into surgery or out of surgery. Like, absolutely not. But I do feel like, because a lot of people seem to be confused with my whole BED story, diagnosed.
That's because you were very confusing about it in the last video. You were diagnosed, but do you really have it? This new psychologist says you don't really have it. You're past that. But then you said you don't binge anymore. You've been very confusing with your wording about it because Amberlynn doesn't explain things well.
Situation. I do want to, in a different video, because I feel like I'm being so long-winded. I was not expecting this.
Me too, girl.
To sit and just like talk. So I'm sorry. But I think in a future video, I do want to explain the process of me being diagnosed and what was said and that whole situation, because I know there are a lot of people who are like so confused. They're like, how come 1 minute you have it, 1 minute you don't? So I think maybe I should just like go further into detail. And you know, that brings me to like so many situations in my life, because I've had people like, your foster care timeline doesn't make sense. And I'm just like,
that's a whole other situation and story. I'm not going to get into her foster care. I believe her when it comes to her foster care stories and her childhood stories with that. So
people want to like
putting that
consider
out
me a
there.
liar about everything because they'll only watch like a few of my videos, and then they'll skip some of my videos and watch just like reaction channels and just like hear what reaction channels say, where reaction channels 9 times out of 10 have their information wrong. And it's just like, no wonder why people are so confused. Like I have flat out seen comments where people are like, no, actually this is the fact and not this, and like the fact is so wrong, it's like an actual lie. So it's like, I don't know, people are just getting confused and stuff, and it's like I need to make a whole video where it's like frequently asked questions.
Hasn't she done that before?
Me just explaining
Addressing
things
rumors.
and timelines and situations and confusions, because it just seems like people are just like so confused about everything I talk about, and it's like I don't know how. Because
maybe you should look at that. Why are people confused? And maybe you should look at the fact that you don't explain things well.
try my hardest to explain myself to the best of my ability without oversharing. And even so, like, I feel like I overshare. So it's like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. I'm trying my hardest. Like, I literally have envisioned myself making a whole foster care timeline, like actually physically
Maybe
drawing
you
it out to
should.
show you guys. Because people are like, I thought you never lived with your parents. How come you say you've lived with your parents? Oh my God, I'm confused. Oh my God, she's lying. Like, it just doesn't add up. Shit doesn't add up. Oh my God. I hate when
Bringing in some Zachary Michael.
people say that about my life or things that I'm talking about or sharing. That might be one of the biggest pet peeves I have with like people watching me or like choosing to watch reaction channels and like ignoring what I'm saying, but like listening to the reaction channels. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Shit ain't adding up.
Ooh, calling out Zachary Michael.
Because you're using the wrong math, honey. Like that.
Wasn't Zachary Michael a math major? He's mentioned before that he studied math. He had a math degree or was working towards one or something. That's
why
funny.
that's the only reason why it's not adding up, because you're not it's the wrong equation. You're doing multiplication
I know it's a different thing, but yeah, not actual math.
in a division book. Like, you're what? I have some more steps I need to do because it's 4 p.m. and I'm barely at 2,000 steps.
Ooh, it's almost 4 p.m. here. I'm at 2,417. And I've been sitting at my desk for 8 hours working up periodically. I'm not doing well on steps.
So I need to do a little bit of this. Earlier I was reading while walking.
Let's do it.
I had my book and I was just like,
do it.
Do. How you doing today? So, yeah. Oh, I also heard like people aren't believing my steps, and someone actually said, yeah, I work retail and I barely get 3,000 steps a day. 10 minutes a day? Like,
when it comes to steps, everybody's steps are going to be different. Your stride length is going to affect how many steps you get. Amberlynn takes very small shuffling steps. So what could be 10 steps for her could be 6 steps for somebody else or 5 steps for somebody else because her stride length is not very long. It's also variable, and everybody has different activity levels. If you have a desk job like I do, you might have fewer opportunities to get up and move around during the day. So then if you want to get a whole lot of steps in, you have to either be really active in the other hours or have a lot of stuff to do. It's just everybody's lives are different. Everybody has different situations and everything. Now, Amberlynn doesn't have a desk. Well, I mean, YouTube is kind of a desk job when she's working on videos, but she has a dog to walk, so she could be getting in more steps walking her dog. But everybody's situation is different on steps. So I hate whenever people are like, why can't she get her steps in? 4,000 steps for Amber is quite a bit because of her short shuffling steps.
I don't get it, because if you're working retail, and are you like walking? Because if you're walking for 8 hours a day, you should be getting a lot more than 3,000. So either your Fitbit or whatever is counting your steps, it's inaccurate. Because when I just go to the physical grocery store, it's like 2,000 steps. Easy peasy. So I don't know.
Yeah, because she has short steps.
Folks, I just feel like I have never lied about my steps, ever. And people just want me to be lying about everything. They do. They just want me to be lying. Like,
Some people do think she's lying about everything, but she has lied about things in the past.
I haven't lied about anything. And people just out here.
How many video titles do we have from Amberlynn about sorry I lied or lied about this or so for her to be, I never lied about anything. Come on now, girl. You've lied about some stuff.
That's a lie. That's a lie. This whole video is a lie. Like, how?
Nah.
Like,
Nah.
it makes my brain hurt.
My brain hurts!
Like, physically, if like my brain hurts when people are like, this whole video is a lie. When every single last letter and syllable that I said in the video is 100% truth, this video is a whole lie. I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah.
Some people do say everything she says is a lie. I think that's a little extreme. But for her to say that she's never lied about anything, that's also very extreme because we all know she has.
It's just exhausting. It's so exhausting. Anyways, I'm gonna go and I will see you guys in my next video, my next vlog. I know this vlog.
This wasn't really a vlog though, was it?
It's just me like talking a mile a minute. It's just sometimes I just need to express myself and express concern and explain myself. And I literally could continue this conversation for the next lifetime. Like I could still talk. I could just ramble on forever, I promise. But I actually need to go to the pharmacy before it closes. Do pharmacies close at 6? I don't really know.
Depends on the
so I'm gonna
pharmacy.
go do that. I'm probably gonna take a little Uber. I don't.
What? I would love to see Amberlynn take an Uber. Is wifey, well, as we know, I've already seen this video, so I know wifey's busy, but yeah, Amberlynn taking an Uber.
I get so much anxiety. Felina's working and I don't want to bother her. She's always willing to help me whenever, but it's like people have beat it into my head that I can do things on my own. No, I don't drive by no means, but I don't need nobody. I can do everything on my own. That's
I don't need nobody. It's like,
why there's Ubers, okay? They're there to help people who don't drive, and that's okay.
absolutely.
Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.
Alright, well, I am hoping my audio recorded in this video. Please, please, please. And I think I covered everything that I wanted to. If not, I'll have little voiceovers added in the editing process. But I think that's everything I wanted to say. What do y'all think? Let me know down below. And I always forget, but you know, hey, subscribe, like, share if you want to share. Whatever makes you happy. It would make me very happy. I want to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm gonna hope we can do it. I think we can do it. We'll see. But I hope you all have an amazing day and the rest of the week. And until next time, be safe and take care.